Hey everybody, happy Sunday, and I'm Kate Dillon from Crate Insider, and I am sitting here today with Steve Hendren from Hendren Racing Engines. Steve, how was your week?
It was great, actually. I heard this awesome thing this week.
Oh God.
So I got to lead with this.
Okay.
So imagine.
Imagine a world.
Imagine a virus so virile and so deadly that you have to have a test to find out if you got it or not.
I'm not sure if you're, well, I'm going to agree with you, but also disagree with you, because you don't know you have cancer either.
Well, no, but, you know.
Except for
you
cancer.
certainly know if you got Ebola, because you're bleeding out your butt and everything else. So.
Wow, way to start the conversation there. Yes. All right, well, I'm going to make sure that, we've got some questions to answer this week.
Do we?
We do. We do. I just have to find them really quick here. I've got the laptop up and going. So while I'm looking for that, tell us what are you drinking today?
Just Bud Light on draft. My Ultra keg just blew, so we've switched to Bud Light.
You poor thing. I'm drinking a sparkling
Well, no, I
water.
like Bud Light, so. I mean, Bud Light, Ultra.
Oh, I was mostly saying...
all the light beers taste all the same, so.
Well, I was only sad for you because of the... because your keg blew.
Oh.
Because you blew Ultra.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Words matter.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. That was kind of a lesson this week, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I am for sale on Wayfair, too, by the way.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I never knew that I would get into conspiracy theories.
Well, it's not even a theory at this point.
It is a crazy thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a crazy deal. So to catch anybody up who's not aware of this or who hasn't seen this, because, we need one more thing in the world to...
It's 2020, so anything can happen.
I know. I'm still waiting for the murder hornets. I really am.
Well,
I mean, like...
There's that, but...
I feel like they didn't get their full 15 minutes.
No.
But for anybody who doesn't know, you can just look up, especially if you go over on Twitter, look up Wayfair trafficking. And it looks like, if you start seeing the screenshots, and you can also look it up on Instagram. I don't know if you can find it on Facebook so much.
They're scrubbing everything right now.
They are.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it is. But they've got, for instance, they've got cabinets.
And this all came about like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it did. Well, and I saw it on Facebook, but in like a marketing group that I was in, and so I was looking at it and going, what's going on? But basically, Wayfair has... they're a furniture website. Actually, I just bought a bunch of furniture from there in the last several months.
Did you buy any children?
I did not buy any children.
Okay.
But on the way, oh my God, on the Wayfair website, they had some industrial cabinets that are like $10,000 or $12,000, and they have kids' names and
pillows.
Yeah, pillows that are $12,000 that happen to coincide with the names of missing children, and it's not just like Amy or Josh. I mean, it's really unique names.
Yes.
Because if you then go over to Yandex, which is what did you say? It's
Russian search engine.
And you put the Wayfair SKU in there, it brings up images of kids. It's just really, really weird. There's a lot of weird
with the same
stuff
exact
going on.
name as the SKU goes to. So.
Yeah, it's just like too weird to be coincidence.
Welcome to 2020.
I know. So that's, if you look at Steve Hendren's Facebook post, he was offering himself for sale on Wayfair.
Nobody's bought yet. I'm really disappointed. I mean, I'm literally that easy, and nobody bought.
What was the price tag on you again?
It was only like $14,999.
So $15K?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you could be worth it. Do you do chores? Do you take out the trash?
No, fuck that. I mean,
no.
To hell with that. I don't take out the trash.
Yeah, I know. I know. I already knew that, but I didn't know if for $15,000
No, I still won't take out the trash.
You still won't take out the trash. Okay. All right, well, we can go ahead and jump in. So what we announced last week is that this episode, we would answer questions, especially if they relate to, like, fact or crap, or true or false, or whatever you want to say.
Whatever you want to say.
If you've got any myths or rumors or things that you've heard, go ahead and drop them into the comments. I have a post that I put up earlier this week, so I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to jump on over to our live video and catch any questions over there. So this first one, Steve, is... Here's from Don, and he says, here's one from when I was a kid. Mothballs used as octane booster.
Mothballs are awesome for getting rid of moths.
Not as an octane booster?
No, sorry.
So that one's going to be in the false category. We are
falsy. Yeah.
0 for true, 1 for false so far. Okay.
I mean, you're, the exhaust is going to smell pretty funky.
Well, maybe the exhaust could scare away the moths.
You can do that too.
It could be dual purpose.
Correct.
Although, well, not really dual purpose because if it doesn't boost the octane like it wants, like
Right.
you want it to, it doesn't really help.
No.
Okay. Next up, E85 is better than racing fuel for crates.
Not true in most senses. It's certainly not better than methanol. It's certainly not better than, say, CHP. But I would say it's equal to, and in comparable, testing. But I mean, if you want the engine to run cool and you want to make the same power as like the expensive fuel for half the price, E85 is a good way to go.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, E85 bought from a fuel manufacturer out of a drum. I'm not saying go to the local gas station and buy E85.
Thank you for clarifying that,
Yeah.
because I think there's a big misnomer. I see
There is.
Or again, words matter.
Well, words matter. Yeah.
No, it matters because the octane rating or the ethanol rating, even though it can say E85 at your local pump, it may be
80,
70, it might be 90.
It could be 70, 90, whatever. It could be all over the damn map. So.
And the one thing that'll definitely ruin a night of racing is messing with the carburetor all
Correct.
night long to try to get it dialed in.
I mean, me personally, if you're going to run an E85, run BP.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my personal
That's
opinion.
the VP X85. Great. Richard's got a really good pile of questions here. So his next one is, so Hoosier 1350 is better than a D21.
It's the same damn tire.
Same tire.
Same rubber until we get into like steer tires and stuff like that. But yeah, same stuff.
I actually knew the answer to that question,
Yeah.
but
I pretty much figured you did. Cause,
yeah, I did.
You're kind of like the CrateInsider girl.
That's my thing. Yeah, it's kind of the thing I do every day.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up. AFCO, Integra, Olin's, etc. Does buying high dollar shock versus low dollar shock give you return on your investment?
Absolutely. There is no substitute for spending money on shocks.
Yeah.
I've tried to disprove that myself in years past, and it's just not true. I mean, you either deal direct with a shock manufacturer or a shock builder and get the best shit you can get, and you're going to go faster. There's no substitute for it.
Good to know. Good answer. So that one is true.
Correct.
Okay. Next up, what's more important, horsepower or proper gear ratio?
Torque.
Torque. So that would be proper gear
Yeah,
ratio.
I don't give a shit about. Well, I mean, it's kind of a weird question, but I mean, torque is the most important thing because when you can produce torque, you can drop gear out of the car, and as you drop gear out of the car, you gain mile an hour, and you gain overall momentum, and I mean, there's just to me, it's torque. Torque is the number one thing I look for. Horsepower. I've had Jonathan Davenport win, $10,000 with a 380 horsepower crate engine that made 415 foot-pounds of torque. So, yeah, torque. It's all torque.
Well, and wouldn't you say that with a crate engine especially, which is what we mostly talk about,
Yes.
is that horsepower kind of is what it is. I mean, we're
Correct.
locked into what we got because of the cam that we have and the components we have. Like,
Well, there's only so much air you can get through one of these engines. So
yeah, so we're pretty locked in on horsepower, and our opportunities are to be found in the torque.
yes.
That's kind of knew that. All right, let's say hi to some folks. I see Chris is here, Scott's here from California, Jim is here, and Bob from Millstadt, Illinois. Brian's here. Brian says melting lead is good for killing the coronas with the occasional cough here in New York.
I remember the old days of melting lead, man. And
I do too.
yeah.
Yeah.
If cigarettes or beer ain't killing me, it's going to be the lead that I melted.
Yeah, my dad would melt lead too, and
yeah.
because he had these like pellet things. I don't know what they were. They looked like little fingers, basically.
One of my best friends, Tom Canfield, his family owned the boardwalk in Santa Cruz, California.
And of course, I know Tom too.
So yeah, you know Tom, you met him, and so they would have like a shooting gallery. So it was like essentially BB guns, but they used solid lead
Pellets.
BBs.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And so we'd get all their used up BBs, and that's what we melt our lead out of.
That's so brilliant. Yeah, a free resource.
And of course, Tommy donated it to the cause.
Yeah.
We didn't actually have to buy it. So
that's really cool. Otherwise, what
don't
would they
tell his dad though.
I won't.
Yeah.
What would they have done with it otherwise?
I actually don't know. I think they probably would have recycled it.
Or can you?
I never asked.
Sell lead?
I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So all I cared about was we got free lead.
There you go. My dad always said it's never what you know, it's always who you know. That's how you get ahead in life. And
yeah, unless you're in Hollywood, then it's who you.
Well, we know.
Well,
actually, that's not a swear word, but yeah, we're learning all kinds of things about Hollywood, and it's I don't know. I mean, how far do you go down that conspiracy rabbit hole?
Oh, it's a total rabbit hole.
It is such a rabbit hole. I never thought I'd be a conspiracy theory person.
It's not really a conspiracy theory if most of it's coming to fruition and being true. So
I know.
We're watching it every day.
I know. It's like unfolding right before our very eyes. It's pretty crazy. Okay. Oh, Gary says, horsepower is how hard you hit the wall, torque is how far you push it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
True.
I never heard that. That's funny.
Oh, Chris is calling us Beauty and the Beast.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
I know, and what the hell? Oh, yeah, and I totally forgot to flip the screen. I'm sorry. I can do that
so everything's backwards?
Yeah, I can do that now. I forget sometimes. Let's see if it lets me do it. It's always fun when you're... There we go. I'll bet that'll do it.
Oh, so the BLP actually shows
there
up
we
as
go.
BLP rather than pulb.
Yeah, or whatever it is. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if it.
All right. So, anyways, yeah.
So I'll see if we get flipped here. Oh, there we
it's
go.
all
We're
flippy.
flipped on the screen. Yeah. All right. Chris says he used to go around to the tire stores and get their old wheel weights and spend hours in front of a Coleman camping stove melting and pouring lead
yeah,
for
that
years.
works too.
That was what the deal was. Actually, I think that's what my dad had. My dad had the
wheel weights.
Yeah, because they're about the size of like a finger.
Yeah.
They look kind of like a finger that's curved.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah, and then they got like metal
messing
attached
with
to
the
them,
camera.
so like the metal, sinks to the bottom or whatever.
Oh yeah, I don't really know.
Or I don't care. It floats to the top. I don't remember.
I don't know. But yeah, go ahead and drop in more questions. And should we tell them about the video that we're going to shoot later?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, because that just came out really wrong.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to be like porn. No,
we're not doing that. No, so, okay. So my thing is, I like to be prepared for about anything. I mean, I've traveled all over the country. I've, ridden in cars or driven all over the country, especially, by myself. So I like to be prepared for about any situation. And so when the Rona hit, I was pretty upset that I didn't have my zombie apocalypse emergency kit ready.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah, because
right.
I had been planning
now
on
I'm on
it.
the same page with you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. So back in May, I ordered survival food. It's like 30 days worth of food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it came in like 2 buckets. And so we are going to make this, the chili mac. We're going to make this later on and test it out.
So now we're like totally screwed because it's going to be like 29 days worth of shit. But
Well, I don't know. We can skip a meal. I think both of us could afford to skip a meal.
Oh, yeah, my fat ass doesn't need to eat
Well,
anymore.
but I mean, especially... Well, and here's the thing. Again, I'm not a doomsday prepper. I'm not. Just like I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But when
You're
it's real,
kind
it's
of a
real.
doomsday prepper.
I'm just prepared.
I know no other woman in the entire world who carries a snake bite kit in her car. In case she gets out of her car and gets bit by a snake in the Walmart parking lot.
Well, I used to live in Idaho, and I used to go to the desert by myself a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not in my car now.
You know, there's like a lot of deadly snakes in Idaho.
So now it ended up getting out of my car when I went camping and got put into my backpack. So now it's just upstairs, like in my medicine cabinet.
Right. But, you know, there were so many deadly snakes in Idaho, you had to carry your snake bite kit.
Just in case. Yeah. If I'm going hiking around here, I'm bringing it. You know, we have like 5 of the 6 deadly snakes, like in the United States, all live in North Carolina.
Yeah, I know that.
You know, or I could have hit rattlesnakes in the desert. See, to me, I would just call that being prepared.
Are there rattlesnakes in Idaho? I don't think so.
There's some kind of snakes that, no, I think there's copperheads.
There's no copperheads in Idaho.
I don't know. We're gonna ask.
You gotta like ask Siri.
Well, I won't ask Siri. I'm just gonna type it into Google.
Yeah, well,
what deadly snakes live in Idaho? So anyway, that is literally what I'm typing.
Probably got anacondas in Idaho or some shit, crazy crap.
It could be.
The song.
All right, my anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hon. All right. Oh, yep, western rattlesnake.
Oh, okay.
And they're the only poisonous snakes in Idaho.
Okay. All right, so you'll hear it rattle.
Well, but they're most common in rocky areas, but can swim, so they're sometimes found around water.
Okay.
So back in the day when I lived there, I would do geocaching.
I have no clue what the fuck
I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd. So I had a GPS machine, a GPS receiver.
Right.
And there's this website,
geocaching. You told me about that shit. Yeah,
geocaching.com.
You like go hunt crap, or it's like what do you call it, a scavenger hunt?
Yeah, it's like treasure hunting. You know, it's like modern day treasure hunting with GPS. And then you'd find like the ammo can in the, you know, in the middle of the pile of rocks, you know, where the rattlesnakes
$20
live.
in it or something like that.
Not even. I mean, it could just be trinkets. If it was just about the thrill of the find and the search and
freaking fly.
I don't know. It could be something Pippi brought in. Pippi, my terrorist cat. Is a terrorist.
Right.
Anyway, yes, I like to be prepared. So preparation is my thing. And the thing is, you know, even we don't have like a lockdown virus situation, you know,
it'll come back to that because it's not November 3rd yet. So.
Well, I know, but during the lockdown, what did we have? We had flooding here. We had flooding.
Yeah, we had flooding.
We get ice storms.
Yeah.
We get hurricanes that have torrential rain. We don't actually never see like hurricane doing anything. It just rains an absolute ton here.
Yeah.
And then floods, and then things are closed or you can't get to places. So that's why I thought it would be good to have an emergency food stash. Right. And it just took
I think it's gonna be a good food stash because like when Trump wins in November, like all shit's gonna break loose. Mm-hmm. Or all hell's gonna break loose. Everybody's gonna like lose their freaking minds.
Yep. So. And I'll be able to lock down, hunker down,
and eat
Chili Mac.
Chili Mac.
Yeah, we're gonna try it. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Yeah, I got some other stuff too. I have creamy Alfredo pasta, and here I am like shilling like emergency food. Yeah. But not really, because I'm not even an affiliate or anything. No. I'm just like, this is just, hey, this
you
is
don't
just
even
what
offer a discount code.
I know. Well, that's what being an affiliate would be. I don't know. I have to do a little web searching and see if they have affiliates.
Unlike the whole GunTube shit that I listen to and watch and all that debacle this week, but that's another story. Which we won't talk about because it's guns, not racing.
Well, and, that's like, but it goes into it. We can relate this to racing because that's going to be one of the pieces of the future of racing, racing sponsorship especially. So when you have somebody gives you like a discount code, you know, hey, use my discount code for 10% off and I get a little cut or whatever.
Right.
That's affiliate marketing. Sometimes you can hear it being called like a brand ambassador where you're going to promote someone's product and then you're going to get a percentage of the proceeds. Mm-hmm. So it's called being a brand ambassador and affiliate marketing, affiliate codes. Like all of those are exactly the same thing. Yep. And that's currently an opportunity for influencers, but I think racers could get in on that for sure. Yeah.
I would imagine so. I mean, I don't know why not.
Oh, well, 100% they could. And
if they know how to market themselves.
Well, and it's all about building an audience and having a relationship with that audience. And then,
which, if you want to know how to market yourself, go to your deal.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm not just saying that because, you know.
No, we didn't. We're not trying to do a promotion here. But like over on my own personal channel, I actually have some videos that I'm an affiliate for a bunch of stuff. Like I'm an affiliate for the software that we use for our website.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in it enough that this is the software that I use. So I love it so much I'm going to share it. But if I'm going to share it, I may as well, if I'm going to promote something, I might as well get a commission on it.
Yeah, there's like if you like it and you share it, then that's different than you being a shill for it. So
I know, yeah. So I can't even be shilling if I'm not making any profit.
Right.
So I just like the word shill. Shill, word of the day.
there's plenty of them out there.
I know. There's lots of words that like I know you don't like.
Especially in the gun community and the racing community.
Oh,
There's all sorts of shills out there.
Shills in the racing community. Ooh, where you're going to promote something if somebody pays you type of deal?
Yeah, when I've run into the circumstance where like certain manufacturers of oils and fuels and things like that have like asked me to falsify information so they can continue to sell their product at an exponential rate.
Yeah, there's
And that doesn't work out.
No, I don't do it either.
Homie, don't play that.
No.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Oh, we can go back to questions now.
All right. Oh, yeah. We like rambled on long enough where we actually got a question. All right. Cool.
No, we've got some valuable information in there.
Right.
All right. Kyle asks, is it good to run an oil cooler on a 602?
You can. I don't actually recommend them because a couple reasons. Number one, if you're using a quality racing oil nowadays, it's just you don't have an oil breakdown issue from temperature. The other reason I don't recommend it is because we're dealing with hydraulic lifter engines. So anytime you start adding lines going to a cooler, for instance, and everything, you're actually dropping oil pressure in the engine. And 5 pounds of oil pressure doesn't sound like much, but as far as keeping the lifters pumped up in the engine, to me it's more important to do that than it is to have an oil cooler.
Well,
Now, if you're running, consistent 100-lap races in Alabama, then perhaps that's something that would be beneficial. But average, 20-lap main event on a Friday or Saturday night, yeah, you don't need it.
well, and I've also liked your other philosophy as well, where you've said, the more pieces of equipment you add to your engine package, it's just one more thing to break.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's more potential failure. I mean, I don't think I've seen many people have failures from oil coolers per se, but it's just one more piece in the equation that you don't need.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just a one.
I mean,
more thing to break.
we've even stopped running oil coolers on 525s.
Wow.
So that's not even something we recommend anymore. We just go straight. I mean, 525 doesn't have provisions for like a screw on the block filter, so we have to run an external filter. But we've pretty much eliminated the cooler. It's just not something we need.
Interesting. Wow, I learn something all the time. Okay. All right, Randy says, sometimes I get fuel blowing out of the air filter when corner entry is extremely fast on a half-mile track, running a 604 on methanol. Mm-hmm. So, fuel from the air filter, that might be the Walker system might be a solution for that.
That Walker thing might be a solution for it. I mean, I've actually tested that on the dyno, and like on the dyno, we don't see nothing that's impressive. In fact, it kind of goes the other way, but that may be a good option.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that was designed for.
It's exactly what it is.
Higher horsepower engines and stuff. I mean, if you're getting fuel in your face, then it's blowing over out of the vent tubes. And if it's blowing over out of the vent tubes, then you've also got that mid-corner stumble going on because it's flooding the engine. At that point, you just make a nice little crossover tube between the front vent and the back vent tube. Kind of nice little slot in the middle where they still vent, and that essentially solves that issue.
Yeah, where do you get that? Is that, to me, that little clear hose looks like stuff you'd buy at like fish tank supplies.
Oh God, yeah, you can get it anywhere. It's like
that's really what it is, right?
I mean, it's essentially what it is. It's just clear hose. I mean, you don't even have to have clear hose. You can have like black hose or.
I don't know, but it looks
because
cool
I'm not a
when it's
racist
clear.
and I like black hose matters, so we can use black hose as well.
Oh God, seriously. Just no.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to, like, promote white hose or clear hose. I'm saying black hose works, too. So.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's see. And can you run it with the MSD distributor? Bob,
Run what?
Can you run what with your MSD distributor? I'm not sure, Bob. Okay, Chris is asking, is that a Bo Laws shirt?
Yes, it is. BLP. Yep.
Oh, is that so Bo Laws?
Bo Laws Performance. Yep.
Oh, I never knew that. I just knew
Yes.
it as BLP
Yeah.
products. Like
Yeah.
they make carburetor parts.
Yep. Bo Laws shirt. We use their center sections on the carburetors that we build,
Yeah.
which probably 75% everybody else does as well. The other 25% use Willys. So.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, Tim says, what needs to be done to your carb that is set up for race fuel, but you want to go to the new X85?
If you're set up for race gas, essentially you need to send your carburetor to whoever built it. And then usually there's going to be some modifications to the main body and then the metering blocks, accelerator pumps, etc. So you can have it converted. Usually a conversion is obviously cheaper than buying a new carburetor. So
There you go. Okay, so back to Bob's question.
Uh-huh.
Can you run an MSD distributor with the Fast 7 box?
Ooh, shit. I think you can.
We're experimenting. Somebody that's
No.
new, we're experimenting with
like,
the E7 box.
There's like a certain combination of box and distributor that sometimes doesn't work. I think it's like the Fast box with, I don't know, it's one of the MSD boxes, or I mean the Fast distributor with like one of the MSD boxes just doesn't freaking work.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much Fast has all the stuff where you can actually convert it to where it'll run on a MSD box. Now, as far as like going the other way, honestly, I don't know. I can't tell you. I am not an electrical genius by any means, or even a novice.
But he is asking an MSD distributor with the E7
That's what I'm
box,
saying.
and
Yeah.
you're not sure. We'd have to look at the instructions on that one, and that E7 box is one that I don't
Well,
think I even have it on the website
who
yet.
I would call would be
Terry.
our guy,
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
Call Dr. Terry at Fast, and he'd be able to tell you.
Yeah.
I just don't want to say yes, no, maybe, because I have no clue.
Well, I might even be able to look on the Fast website, and that product listing may have in their instruction
I'd
sheet.
be more inclined to call Terry.
I agree.
And talk to him directly. That way you're not trying to read information. He can say, yeah, this is what you need to do, and you can actually talk to somebody on the phone.
I agree. Okay, good deal. Okay. Gary's like, old school. Okay. And Chris is asking, but doesn't the MSD box run hotter?
I don't know about running hotter. For me personally, I prefer the Fast system.
Yeah. Well, and why we like it is for the optical.
Well, I mean, there's just different. I've driven both, obviously. I mean, we used MSD for years. Back in the day when MSD was made in America, it was probably a very difficult system to beat. Now that it's made in both Mexico and China, there's a lot of faults to it, which I won't get into on live thing here. But at any rate, I know I prefer the Fast system. Like if I'm racing, I prefer the Fast system because, like, for rev limiter, for instance, if you're up against a rev limiter on a Fast box, you're running. It does the same thing as the MSD in the sense that it knocks out every other ignition pulse, but never the same cylinder twice. Mm-hmm. Whereas MSD, you get that brrr sound, and that's what that comes from because it will knock out every other ignition pulse, but it can do the same cylinder twice in a row.
And you get that.
And it's like a Jake brake.
Wow.
So like when you're racing, it's like when you hit the chip, it's like, oh, I mean that thing shuts down.
Right.
Whereas in the Fast system, for me driving, it's like you drive through that. Mm-hmm. So it never, there's no Jake brake feeling. There's no, wow, I'm slowing down. You know you're in the rev limiter, but it doesn't feel like you're slowing down. And that's because never knocks out the same cylinder twice in a row.
Right.
And that's, to me, an advantage.
I agree.
Maybe from a driving standpoint, because, I mean, when you're racing, you don't want to... You want the least amount of distraction possible.
Right.
So when you're on that fast box, I mean, yeah, you know you're in the chip, but it's not like, oh my God, I'm getting passed because some guy's got 200 more RPM than I do because of the gear ratio they got, whatever. I mean, you're not thinking about crazy shit.
Well, I have a relatable story.
But as far as running hot, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I have no idea. It's nothing I've ever put a thermometer on.
Well, when you're talking about the Jake brake thing, it reminds me as much as my little Toyota, the Matrix. The Matrix will get me from point A to point B, and it hauls about anything. But the one problem I've had with the Matrix, I have now gone through 3 of the 4 ignition coils at different times.
Oh yeah, you have. Yeah.
And when it loses an ignition coil, you're going la 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 la. It's like slamming on the gas, let's go somewhere, and then it's whoa. Okay.
That was an awesome girl story.
That was such a girl story. I know. I'm such a girl sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes people forget that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people forget.
Yep.
What's funny though is all of the car sounds that we were just making. It totally reminds me. Did you ever listen to the Car Guys on NPR?
No, I don't listen to radio, NPR, or anything of the sort.
Okay, I mean, they were on their air for 20 years or something.
No, it's
people
nothing
would call and leave them voicemails and say, my car's making this noise, da, 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 and then they would try to diagnose people's car problems based on the noises.
Nothing I ever
it's just
listened
funny,
to. No.
but it's funny.
All right.
Okay,
I'll take your word for it.
Anybody else listen to Car Guys? Just say hi or drop in a comment
I'll
or something.
take your word for it. What do they win? A T-shirt if they did?
No, they just got their question answered. They got their question answered.
So you're not going to give away any free T-shirts today?
Huh.
You should actually. You should actually give away a free T-shirt, Crate Insider T-shirt today, for something. What should we come up with that makes?
Well, how do I
it
do
to
that
where-
on the YouTube and the Facebook and the Racing Insiders podcast?
Well, I don't give a shit about that. We're doing everything live right now, and maybe you should give away a free T-shirt or a free
Why
hat.
don't you? You can. I do free T-shirts on Tuesdays.
So you say I gotta give away a free Hendren shirt?
Oh yeah, that's right. I bought those.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. So whoever wants a free T-shirt, drop in a comment right now, and potentially you can win a free T-shirt.
So
whether it's a Hendren or a...
Well, how are you running your contest here, Steve?
I don't know. Whoever posts the funniest meme right now.
Oh, funniest meme?
Yep, funniest meme.
Well, it's if they're watching us live, it's a little bit difficult to click around and then find a meme and...
Hey, I don't care. I'm just saying whoever posts the funniest meme gets a freaking T-shirt.
Okay, well, I'll let you vote on that. Right. And then you can later look at the comments.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go smoke, and you keep the
feed alive.
The crowd entertained. The crowd of 28 people.
I don't even know. Oh. Yep. Oh, yep. You got some yeses here that people want your shirts, and you're out of some of your sizes. I don't even remember which ones.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So.
Well, they're working on it. They're working on it right now.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it sounds good. Oh, Bob's mind is blown right now. All right. I wasn't prepared. I totally am at a loss at this moment in time. Let's see, the other things that I've worked on this week. If you're not on my email list, we have 2 separate email lists. There's a Crate Insider email list, and that is at CrateInsider.com. You scroll to the bottom and you can join our email list. And then I do a separate email list for basically all the things that I do outside of Crate Insider. So that's Racing Insiders Podcast, that's KateDillon.com and WinningMotorsportsMarketing.com. And actually, if you go to my website, Well, if you're listening on the podcast, RacingInsidersPodcast.com, then on the homepage, there's a place to opt in. And then we're sending out an email each week to tell people, hey, there's a new podcast. I know the people here, anybody who's here live is like, okay, I'm already here. Then I've got some free resources over on my website at CrateInsider.com, and I should probably drop in a link. And so things like if you're interested in marketing or sponsorship, or if you're interested in e-commerce, like those are all things that I talk about on my personal website. So I guess it's our little commercial of the moment of my personal commercial, I guess, on that. But we do have some sponsors of the podcast and of Crate Insider. And so one of those that I will mention is going to be Newsom Raceway Parts. And in fact, Newsom Raceway Parts, they are the title sponsor for the Crate Racing USA series. And in fact, for any of my street stock listeners or viewers, there's a big race at Cherokee Speedway and next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. It's a 3-day show. It's $5,000 to win. And I will be there. I will be there probably Friday, and I know I'll be there Friday. Might be there Thursday and Saturday too. I haven't quite figured that out yet. My plan is to walk around and interview some drivers while I'm there, and those will be going up onto the Crate Insider website as well as the Racing Insiders podcast as well.
All right, I hotbox the shit out of that because I care about the audience. I wanted to be back here as soon as possible.
Wow. And you are expressing caring. I almost feel like if I was watching
very
right
unusual,
now,
yeah.
I would use the little caring emoji.
Oh yeah, well,
The response.
that's Jason Orr, my buddy at 955 Automotive. Use him, by the way. He's badass. Yeah, that's his standard response now since they came up with the caring emoji. So even if it's horrible, it's the caring emoji.
I don't even have words. It's so
That's Jason
outside
Orr.
of-
So
and it's both of you. I mean, there's no way that... I think the only way that you or Jason would use that response emoji would be if you're responding to someone like having a family member die. Other than that, any other usage of you using the care emoji is...
It's comical.
Seriously just like spiteful or...
It's being dicks, basically.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Because Jason's as big a dick as I am.
I know. I don't even want to go there. Yeah. Okay.
Figuratively.
Yeah, really. Okay. So David says, hey, from Louisiana. Oh, yeah. We could, should we watch and pour a beer here?
No, you don't have to watch me pour
Okay.
beer.
Gotcha. It was going to be fun and entertaining, like it's B-roll or something.
Oh, yeah.
So, you've got some folks here. We have David here from Louisiana.
Nice.
Chris wanted me to let you know that smoking will stunt your growth.
Well,
Is that what happened to you? Why is your Bud Light foamy?
I don't know. It's pissing me off.
He makes fun of me for not
It's
pouring the beer,
Yeah.
right? And having it to be too foamy.
It's probably what happened to me when I was 18 is my growth got stunted.
Your
from
growth got...
smoking.
Yeah, could be. I think that's when you started smoking, right? Was when you were 18?
Yeah, I was 18, but I never really became a smoker per se until I went to Australia and was traveling around the country there.
Yeah.
Racing.
It was just
And
the
that's when the whole addiction started.
addiction.
The addiction.
It just sounded like something. I mean, it's an addiction, but the tone there was
Yeah.
yeah. And keep dropping in your comments and questions, you guys, for sure. So we're happy to
No memes?
answer them. We haven't seen any memes, but maybe it's going to be memes after the fact.
Well,
then you can vote on it later,
okay,
and you
yeah.
can drop in a comment, and you can
Maybe
tell somebody.
maybe
what
we'll
they
wait till
want.
like Wednesday.
I'm leaving that to you. This is going to be your giveaway. You're gonna,
It's technically
you do
yours because you bought the shirts, so there you go.
Yeah, but I'm inviting you into my world of doing the things. This is usually my laid back, like I'm just gonna chill out and talk,
Right.
like show, and
So
plus I usually
yeah,
have
so
I have help.
so basically the meme that makes me like laugh
Okay,
hysterically
okay.
gets a free T-shirt.
I sent you one last night.
You did actually.
I did.
I made my own last night.
You did make your own. Yes, we speak in meme, so like I don't know, probably if you were to break down our text messages, about, I'd say 70% are memes, and the other 30% is just logistics.
Business, yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, you want to go to lunch? Hey, what time are you going to be here? Like, that's what I mean, logistics.
Or you know, hey, you know, you screwed up this order.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. There's that. Yeah, so it's logistics and business, but I mean the point being is we speak in meme and we send memes back and forth to each other. Have you never been to Olive Garden?
No, what is that?
It's a cheese grater.
Oh fuck, there's actually cheese in there.
It's a cheese grater.
It's like gross.
Thanks, yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was just
I got Parmesan on my pants now. Cheesy dick.
phrase of the day. That is going to be the quote I pull out of this. Where Steve has Parmesan on his pants.
It's like cheesy dick now.
What? Okay, we're going back to questions
all right,
now.
questions,
All right.
good.
Brian says, when you freshen up a motor, are you or can you take the replacement pieces and massage them? Like do stuff for improvement of clearance issues?
No. As far as like the hardcore components in the engine, those remain 100% GM stock. As far as, you know, decking the block, honing the cylinder bores, valve jobs, stuff like that, there's some variances there that we can manipulate in a sense.
See, I wouldn't use the word manipulate.
Well, no, it's not manipulate. It's we're still going by what GM specs are. But you might be a dude who's got a 604 or 602 with a 9-inch 30 deck height. Well, you know what? We can be at 9-inch 19. So we put it at 9-inch 21.
That way you still have a little bit of a margin for...
Well, you got idiot tech manufacturer error
Yeah, you got to have
involved.
that in there.
So,
Yeah.
And there's plenty of those out there. So we got to be cautious with what we do.
Well, you
because,
don't want to push it too far.
Well, you don't know who's teching the stuff that you're doing. So
Now, here's a weird question for you. So, I've heard you have been at the shop, and you say something about conditioning rods.
reconditioning rods.
Yeah, is that something you do for crates? And
Yes.
And what is a reconditioning of a
Well,
rod?
what we're doing is making the rod bore round on the connecting rod.
Okay.
So-
Because it just gets oval or gets smushed or something?
Over time, it becomes oval. When they're stock out of the box, if you go to my Facebook page, I mean, I'm sure you can find photos on there where I've like shown where you've got, you know, bell mouth rods, meaning like one side of the rod is on spec, but as you go across the bore of the rod, it goes way big or way small, and they're all over the place.
Huh. Seems like that would make a good video.
Yeah, you could probably actually do a video on me fixing a set of rods, because I mean, we do it every day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me if you would find, if you'd be interested.
I mean,
I find myself interested.
I could show everybody some scary shit, basically.
Well, I don't want to be
And-
scared.
Well, you'll be scared once you look at how connecting rods come from even the factory on brand new engines. So
Yeah. Well, and that's where things get tricky, because people ask all the time about whether if you blueprint an engine right out of the box, if you're going to gain horsepower. It's such a common question. I know every crate engine rebuilder gets that same question over and over again, and it's like you don't really know.
I mean, not necessarily, but what you do know once you get one done is you've got the most you're going to get out of that particular engine.
And you've got it 100% legal, 100% to spec.
Well, it's 100% legal, 100% to spec. So, again, I've said this 100 times on here before, that
But this might be somebody's first time.
Well, but we do what GM can't do and make all these engines equal. Mm-hmm. And they just can't do it. I mean, it's no slight on them. I'm not bashing GM by any means. I mean, they do what they do, and in a production sense. Well,
Yeah.
we're not production. We're, you know, we again, we do what GM can't do and make them all
Well,
equal.
you take your 30 years of experience, 30 plus years of experience at this point.
God, yeah.
God, you sound old now. But you take your 30 plus years of experience of hand building performance engines,
Right.
and you put that into every one of your engines.
Yeah, and I'm not the only one that does it. I mean, there's plenty of other guys out there that do the same thing I do. I mean, we're not special.
Well, you're speaking, or you are the voice of crate engine builders right now.
Well, I'm not necessarily. I mean, like I said, there's plenty of other dudes out there that do the same shit I do. And, like, if you're a competent machinist, you can do the same thing that we do and produce the same product. I mean, it's not rocket science. We're not talking about, like, we're building, a 950 horsepower super late model engine. That's a totally different realm of... I mean, it's like computers. I mean, you need to be on top of that shit to be able to do that.
Right.
We used to do that years ago, back when my dad was alive, and we were like on top of it, but we went the way of the crate engine. So again, we don't do anything super special,
right?
But what we do is constantly test, constantly look for shit, constantly try to find a way to make a better mousetrap.
Well, you're looking for opportunities and anywhere where you
Which is why we got involved with these guys.
With
for
ProFab.
instance, ProFab and stuff like that. And we, we're looking at ways. You can only get so much, you can only beat a dead horse so many times. So, I mean, the engine-wise, we're maxed out on what we can do for that.
Yeah.
Everything else now is bolt-ons and headers and fuels and carburetors and different things.
Well, and it's not just one item in isolation. A lot of times it's combinations.
Correct.
Of certain things that
well,
make
yeah,
it
it can be a combination of things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Great. I've got another question here. This is from Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "What should compression read, or does it matter as long as you have a good leak down test?"
Leak down test is everything I go by. Compression, cranking compression, I don't care about because you can actually have a hydraulic. These are all hydraulic lifter engines. If we're talking about a 602, 604, even a 525, and you can have a lifter that's bled down while you're doing your cranking compression test, and you're going to show a higher cylinder pressure than you would. So it's going to give you false readings. Is what I'm getting at. So you can have, like, I don't know, 180 pounds, but maybe it leaks down at 20%. But the lifter's bled down in that cylinder, so you're getting 180 pounds, and then the next cylinder over is getting 180 pounds also, but the leak down on it's 3%.
Yeah,
so
20% would be bad.
Yeah, you don't want 20%.
So basically,
I'm just giving an example here. So
I know.
So what happens is, like on a hydraulic lifter engine, if the lifter's bled down, when you're doing your cranking compression test, like I said, you can have the lifter bled down, so you don't get the lift. It actually technically shortens the duration on the camshaft, so that builds cylinder pressure. So you can have you can show a higher cylinder pressure, but you can still have a high leak down on that same cylinder. Yeah, I mean, it's, if that makes sense to everybody.
Here's how it made sense.
It makes sense to me.
Well, here's how it makes sense to me. It sounds like a compression test on a crate engine
is a waste of time.
Has about the same accuracy as a COVID-19 test.
Correct. It's a total waste of time.
Okay.
Because you can have a false positive or a false negative. Honestly.
No. So we look up antibody testing because we both think we've had it from PRI last year, and they were like the results. Well, first of all, we can't get them where we're at an antibody test, but we're looking at the words about antibody testing on CDC, and it's like, well, even if it's false, you could have had it, or if it says it's a positive,
yeah,
it could also be that you have antibodies for the common cold, or it could be false positive. Basically, it means
like
nothing.
I said at the start of the show.
Yeah, I know. We're over it.
Yeah. Where else do you have a more virulent, deadly virus where you have to get a test to know if you have it?
Yeah, because you're not even sure. So. Yeah. All right. Bob says, is there one cam and only one cam for a 602?
Yes. One and one only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, and that's where...
And a lot of people, like, the most common cheated up thing that I've seen over the years has been camshafts. And honestly, it's the easiest thing to catch.
Well, it is. I mean, in some cases, there's the the cam doctors that can do it on the engine, but the real accurate one is you've got the rolling cam doctor that.
Yeah, correct.
I know series that bring their cams to you to check.
Technically, you can have something that rolls right on the cam doctor, for GM spec per se. But then, because somebody's actually reground the cam, so it'll be like you'll see the durations like split like maxed out. But what you'll find is, so per the rule book, that cam will actually meet the rule book. But where you bust them is the base circle. Because in order to have that cam reground, you shrink the base circle, done. So that's the most common thing we'll find, and we've busted a lot of them guys over the years.
Yes,
mostly asphalt, honestly.
Yeah, we don't see it on
dirt side of things. I mean,
dirt.
Everything's pretty clean. Every now and again, you'll get something that's illegal. Usually, it's like an engine builder really doesn't know what he's doing, or maybe he just got sloppy or whatever. But usually, the cheating that we found has been in asphalt.
Well, and I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize that what's at stake for you as an engine builder if you were to send anything out the door that was cheated up.
Oh yeah,
So tell people what would be the consequences if somebody wanted to pay you a stupid amount of money to cheat up an engine.
I've been offered a stupid amount of money to cheat up an engine.
And why won't you do that? Tell us what's at stake.
Well, because my whole livelihood is. So I'm not going to sacrifice my livelihood, my kids, my family, everything else, just to make an extra, I don't know, 10 grand.
Okay, so let me explain what's actually would happen.
Because I've been offered that. So.
But what I'm saying is people don't know what the consequences are.
No, the consequences are you're done. You're out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no second chance. I mean, a race car driver, if you get caught with we're talking dirt racing here, so you get caught with a illegal engine, basically you're out for 365 days, and you pay, I don't know, whatever the fine is. As an engine builder, you're done. You're done forever. There is no coming back. You don't pay a fine. You don't come back. I mean, I know there's a series out there where they've let a couple people give them money and have come back, but I won't name the series or the engine builders. But, yeah.
Yeah, there's no room for mistake.
It's not Crate Racing USA, and it's not...
just stop. But I mean, just the
Rush.
point
It's
being...
not Rush.
the point being is that I don't think people realize that you are... if your business is based on rebuilding crate engines and you send a cheated one, if you get caught with somebody gets caught.
No, you're done. That's what I'm saying. You're done.
You're kicked out of the program, and
there's no second chance.
No.
And I don't care how good of friends you are with the people that own the series or whatever. No. You're done.
Well, and that's why the integrity of the rules, because I had somebody telling me a few weeks ago, oh yeah, like those dirt guys, like they cheat this stuff up all the time. I'm like, dude, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Well, now if we're talking, if we're talking dirt car,
no, that's not what we're talking about.
Okay, I was gonna say
we're talking about like Southern Dirt Series.
Okay, yeah, no.
And there's this misunderstanding, thinking that there's a bunch of cheating going on, and I'm gonna say I don't think there is.
If you want to see rampant cheating, dirt car up north, rampant. And
they've taken steps, though.
They've taken some steps.
You're not being fair right now.
I'm not being fair, but they've taken some steps to correct that. But it's only because of Vicky Emig, who started her own series with that kind of car, that brought dirt car into play as far as like cleaning their shit up.
Well, and whatever it took, I mean, there's always a catalyst to any type of a problem or solution or whatever. And I mean, I know Don worked really hard. Don Blackshear.
Oh, absolutely.
Good friend of ours.
No, yeah. Good,
and, such a great advocate for all things crates.
Now they're doing it kind of right.
I agree.
Well, now they're doing it right.
Yes.
Now before everybody, and it's, again, thanks to Vicky for stepping up and like making...
Talk about somebody who's going to enforce the rules.
Holding feet to the fire.
Oh, yeah.
So to speak. Mm-hmm. Thanks to her, it's cleaning up a lot of that stuff up north.
Well, because people realize if you can play fair on a level playing field, you'll get more cars.
But before that, like years ago, I'm talking like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, there was like everybody was cheated up there.
Yeah, and not so much. Not
now.
Not as no. It's just not nearly as possible. Okay. Oh. Dennis says, "What's the lead time when buying a 602 from you?"
It depends on when you do one, or when you buy one. Right now, I'm about 3 weeks behind. I wish I was, well, I wish I was more caught up than what I am now, but it's just, this stuff comes in, like, waves.
Yeah.
So, which is like, I mean, you know that from your side of things.
I do.
So, like, I'll be like, if you call me today, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm like a week behind. And then the next guy calls me and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm a week behind. So you get like 10 phone calls from people and you're like, I'm a week behind. Well, then you're like, okay, 1 or 2 out of 10 are going to buy from me. So I'm a week behind. But then when 10 out of 10 buy from you, then all of a sudden you're like, what the hell am I going to do now? Because I've promised all this shit within a week. And that's the point we're at right now.
Yeah.
So I'm telling everybody 3 weeks. It could honestly be a week, or it could be 2 weeks. It could be 4 weeks. But yeah, somewhere in that range.
No, this is a good story. Chris says, I had a close friend that had a very successful race engine business, and he gave in and cheated up a few engines, and he ended up losing his ass. Yep. Steve is right. No one would touch him after that, and now he is building street engines.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, that's what you run into. And
yeah. It's just not worth it.
No, I mean, I'm not going to do it. I mean, there's no amount of money that'll make me do that. So. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I think that's the right attitude to have.
Well, unless you like.
There's no one less. Well,
let me clarify this. If you want to come and give me
$1 million,
$1 million, or buy my shop, buy me out, then I'll frickin' hook your ass up.
There you go. So we can find a racer who's ready to spend $1 million for a 10,000 to win race.
Odds are there's a dad out there with a 12-year-old phenom son who he thinks is like the next Dale Earnhardt that'll pay that. Just saying.
There is a buyer for every product. Now you've put it out there. So basically, I've found out in the span of 24 hours that you're for sale.
I told you I was a fucking whore.
We're trying not to swear on the show.
No, I'm sorry.
But it's so hard for him. So he has his post on his personal Facebook on a Steve Hendren where he's offering himself for sale on Wayfair, and now you're saying that you're for sale.
Somebody wants to come in and give me $2 million for my freaking shop.
Wow,
and my name. I will sell the shop and my name for $2 million, and they can cheat up everything they want to cheat up. I'm good. You'd be a damn idiot if you didn't do that.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll just pick another name out of the phone book.
Well, no, I'm like, first thing I'm doing is like retiring to some island in the Caribbean, so I'm good.
And I hear St. James is for sale. Oh my God, we are terrible people.
Wait, what's that, Epstein Island?
That's St. James.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That would be it. I don't think 2 million will buy that one though.
No, it'd be like. Yeah.
Oh, so Anthony says, so we know what happened when Steve disappears.
Right. Yeah, if I fall off the face of the earth, you know what happened.
That would be why. Well, it'd be good to know.
Right.
You've either been trafficked.
Well, yeah, I could have been sexually trafficked to Saudi Arabia.
You know, it's so not funny because it's a terrible thing.
To please harems.
Wow. I just, for a moment there, I went back to Mad TV days and I was like, lowered expectations.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh, here, Brian says, our home track Riverhead profiles the cam with a tool that drops on the distributor.
Yes, that'll be a cam doctor.
Yep, the track did find one competitor that had it cheated up and took the engine. It's in the rules. If it's been altered, you lose it. Lose the whole engine.
Good.
Yeah.
Good deal.
That's a little bit more than a slap on the wrist.
That's how rules should be.
Yeah. You know, I mean, back in the day, though, NASCAR was notorious for that, for confiscating parts.
Oh, and the higher tier stuff, I guess.
No. I'm talking about, like, I remember my dad had a carburetor, and we'll have to get my dad on the show again, because he was a lot of fun having him. And they had that carburetor rule where they drop the thing into the cylinders to see if it's the no-go.
They go into the Venturis, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this guy was like ramming this down into this carburetor, trying to make it work.
Of course.
So finally got it to work, and then they confiscated his carburetor, which turned out it really wasn't, or whatever, and had it sent it in, and it wasn't illegal, but then he never got it back. I don't know, we'd have to ask him for this story. That would not surprise me. Right. So there's some things that are kind of crappy.
Well, it's like everything else in life. They make the rules up as they go along if they want you gone. So.
Yeah, well, there's that too. There's that too.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I think we need to say that we are definitely hardcore against human trafficking. I mean, we're
we're joking. We're joking about shit.
There's nothing funny about it for real.
No.
We're bringing light to it in our own special way, I guess.
I mean, how else are you gonna do it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, give some attention to it, and it'll be.
Well, no. I'm like hardcore. Like, I mean, you brought up this whole freaking wafer thing. I just made the shit because I thought it was funny. Because that's who I am. It's
funny when you have ownership of it, and you know what, here's what helps is that gets people talking about it and seeing what's really going on, or
seeing, I mean, look it up.
To the real Wayfair trafficking deal, and whether it's a conspiracy theory or not, I don't know. Maybe I'm spreading rumors. I'm not a gossipy kind of a person. But, there's some weird stuff going on with that.
But when you got like Hollywood people coming out saying so-and-so's a pedo and so-and-so's a pedo, and then you got like all these shows canceling because, Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested.
She gets arrested. The fly logs show like Ellen DeGeneres and Jimmy Kimmel are on them, and all of a sudden their shows are canceled. Except for that's not
hell.
Freaking
news. Barack Obama's on one of the planes.
Yeah.
There's like all sorts of them.
And we don't know what anybody did.
No, I mean, you don't know. I mean,
there's clearly something sketchy,
could be completely
sketchy as hell going on, though.
But then you got like that Cappy dude. What was that? What was that guy's name? The guy that threw himself off a bridge in Arizona.
Well, I only know Cappy part of it, but an actor, and he called out some people.
Yeah, he like called out like a bunch of them.
And Prince Andrew is like, I don't even know. I don't even have words to describe.
Yeah.
I know. I can't. I'm so sorry. I've been down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, if you're if you're as dorky as Prince Andrew, you're like paying for, young girls.
I don't even know. Oh, well, back then he had a condition where he didn't sweat. I know that wasn't me because I don't sweat. Dude, what? What? No. Wow. That falsifies the whole story because you didn't sweat.
Yeah.
Weird. Alrighty. And, let's see. Chris says the lack of quality tech men is scary these days.
No, it is actually.
There are some really, really good ones.
There's some awesome tech men, but the one thing that does scare me, like being in this business, is idiot tech man factor. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got some dumbass that doesn't know anything, and he's, measuring bore and stroke with the tape measure.
Well, you've seen it, and you've saved racers on that.
No, I know.
When you've been around,
there's just certain things, and that's what I call our tolerances.
Yeah.
Is idiot tech man factor.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And Gary says, that's why I watch this and not NASCAR. We're a little more fun. We're more entertaining.
Good for you.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah.
All right. Bob says, 20 weight oil, 20 weight oil work good enough to possibly use in 602 to lessen rotate weight?
I would recommend more like a 1030. Like if you're like trying to use a 020 or something like that. What we found every time we come back to like a 1030, unless it's that Klotz 1040 that we sell, or that you sell.
Yeah.
But pretty much every time that 1030 is like the best, you know, what do you call it?
It's
Compromise. It's the best compromise.
It's
is
a
that
balance.
1030. Now, I mean, I've used some 020s years ago that Mobile One gave us, and yeah, it worked good, but I'd still be more inclined to like do a 030 or a 1030 or something like that.
Well, I mean, the 1030 is kind of like the Goldilocks factor, you know?
Well, it is. I mean, we've got...
It's the not too heavy, not too light, not creating
honestly,
too many
it's
cooling
just,
issues.
It's just right
like,
there, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would definitely use probably a 1030.
I'm gonna be
or a 030. I mean, you can use a 030 depending on where you're racing. I mean, if you're racing, you know, middle of winter in Minnesota, which I guess that probably doesn't happen.
No, you know, unless it's that Canadian track. There's that Canadian track where they have the ice track.
But if
that's crazy. Have you seen that racing?
If you're racing in
videos?
cooler weather, the 030 will work just fine, or the 1030.
Well, but have you seen that racetrack that is an ice racetrack in Canada? And then they race cars out there and snowmobiles and all kinds of stuff.
Do they like apologize the whole time they're racing?
I don't know.
We're sorry that we're racing because it's cold out.
No. I mean, I've seen YouTube videos. I know, but like, look, we have to look up ice racing.
All right, okay.
It's kind of we never know what random things are going to happen.
Well, yeah, it's like kind of bizarre.
Well, the funny thing is, you and I started this show because this is when we sit
we're
around.
like bored as shit.
Well, we were bored, and when we sit around and talk about stuff, this is other than answering questions, this is the stuff we sit around and talk about.
Well, that and like that. Oh,
what do you got?
Let me bring this shit up.
Oh my God, what you got?
All right, so if you message me.
Oh yes, okay.
On my Hendren Racing Engines Facebook page, and you want to ask a question, just ask the effing question, and I will answer it. Or I won't. I'll say I can't answer that question. But do not send me what is that stupid automatic?
Can I ask a question?
Can I ask a question thing? Because you know what I do? Delete. Because then I have to go yes or maybe or no.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like trying to keep me from bashing on the
I am trying to
friggin' table.
Yes, I am.
So do not like do that automated can I ask a question shit. Because I go delete.
Because that's the whole point of it. Just ask the question.
Because then I have to go yes or no or maybe. And then you have to ask your question, and then I have to respond again. It's stupid.
Well, and I mean, what would be the answer though?
What the hell?
Let's ask Captain Obvious for just a moment. Can I ask a question? No, you cannot. I mean, what do you think the answer to that question is going to be?
I don't know. It pisses me off. So, if you got a question, please feel free to ask me the question. Just do not be like, can you answer a question for me?
You know, and the funny thing is, when we talk about girl speak sometimes, that's kind of like it's kind of a girl speak kind of thing. Hey, how you doing? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, right.
It's a conversation starter, like,
yeah,
you know, but in the age of where we are today, I think there's just different levels. Just
shorten the period of time that we have to interact. Because the faster you ask a question, the faster I answer it, the faster you get the answer.
Yeah.
And we all go about our separate ways, and I can build engines.
Well, and I think we can all appreciate politeness, but I think some areas we don't have an expectation for it is being polite by being direct. So if somebody calls you on the phone, and
I got no problem with that.
No,
call me on the phone all day long if you want to.
But here's what I'm saying though: is if somebody calls me on the phone and says, "Oh, you know, I'm like, hey, hi, this is Kate. You know, I understand there's some niceties. Oh, hey, how you doing today? And I wanted to call you. Got this question I got to answer. Okay, great. You know, you're going back and forth, and maybe it would seem a little bit rude. I mean, I certainly wouldn't just walk up to a person and be like, Hey, Steve, what weight oil should I use in my engine? It would be a little weird in person. It'd be a little bit weird even on the phone.
I can deal with that way more than I can deal with somebody going, hey, Steve, can I ask you a question? It's like...
Of course you can.
Fucking do it, man. Just fucking ask. You know, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's the expectation. So if you're going to direct message someone on social media,
that's my
Instagram,
advice. That's like good advice for today.
It is.
If you're going to ask a question, ask the question.
If
Don't ask if you can ask the question.
If you're going to private message or direct message, be direct.
Correct.
In your communications, and it's not.
And I've got no problem with that. I mean, you can message me saying, hey, I think you're an asshole. And I'll be like, I agree. And that'll be good. But if you're like, hey, can I ask you a question? And then like, I'm like, yeah. And then you're like, you're an asshole. Question mark.
Do you know what happens? Okay. Now, conversely, do you want to know what the reality is if somebody asks me that same thing?
What?
If I get the question, can I ask you a question? And my answer is, sure. What can I help you with? Oh, so where do you live? Do you have any
yeah, you get that.
Do you have
shit.
any other
That's
pictures
right.
of yourself?
Yeah.
What do you like to do for fun?
That's why I'm hoping my Wayfair ad will like get those kind of questions for me. Because I'm so jealous of you, and you're.
Is that what it is?
And you're like pervy, look, Indian and fucking Saudi Arabian dudes. God damn.
No, I have some red-blooded Americans.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
Yeah, every now and again you get a Waldo or whatever.
Yeah. One of them's name is NASCAR fan on Instagram.
NASCAR fan on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's original.
I know.
What's he asking for?
If I have more pictures. I'm like, dude, I got a whole website and a YouTube channel. You should go and check it out.
I got tons of shit you can buy, too.
I do. Go here, add to my watch hours over on YouTube.
I gotta put my clothes in the dryer.
Oh, okay. Well, then dryer's gonna make noise. We're not gonna have to wrap this up.
Well,
anyway.
it's not like I'm gonna make. It's like other end of your fucking place. So.
He doesn't know how sound and video work and how it picks up all of the other sounds. All right. Oh, but Chris is asking if Steve can he ask you a question?
What?
Chris is asking if he can ask you a question.
So Chris, fuck you.
Good one, Chris. Good one. Now, I've got your other one. When he comes back, Chris, your question about weight of oil. We will take a look at that when he comes back. So, Brian said this is comedy gold. Well, thank you so much, Brian. This is literally, this is just us. So, this is how we are in person. I think I don't think that people necessarily know how to take us when we're in person. They expect it's going to be something different, but it's not. It's exactly this. So we have a lot of fun with our show and hanging out. So I got a question for you. So
Yeah.
here's a legit question for you.
Cool.
So
I like legit questions.
Legit?
Not like, can I ask you a question?
I know. We can totally look at my Instagram
Whoever that
account.
dude was.
Yeah. Actually, this is the question he asked before he asked if he could ask you a question. He says, I'm an old school straight 40 weight guy. Is that wrong?
If we're looking at, are we talking like crate engine stuff? Because...
Well, that's what we talk about on this show. So.
Yeah, I mean,
We use a 1040.
Yeah.
The cloths. It's just a heavier, thicker oil.
I use the 1040. I mean, the 40 is what it is at temperature.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I certainly wouldn't be like doing like a 1550 like GM recommends, because that's like a massive power loss, but
Yeah.
40? Yeah, I don't know. Probably work fine. I haven't tried a straight 40.
Oh, so straight 40 is different than 10W40?
Well, not at temperature.
Okay.
So.
I don't know what that means, but okay. I just go with what he recommends. I just roll with that. You know your deal, And so I follow.
See, this would be
him.
like a good thing for you to like get Buck on here.
Yeah.
And like actually talk oil and viscosity and what it means, and
we've done a little bit of that.
Yeah, but it'd like be a pretty good. It'd be a pretty damn good thing to actually get him on it.
Yeah, next time Buck's up this way, and we're talking about Buck Parker from Daytona 1, of course, and Buck and I have done several videos together over the years, and, that would be really great if we could get him on the show.
No, I agree.
And sit down, because normally, when I'm doing video with Buck, we're trying to just wrap something up in 5 or 6 minutes and talk about a product, and I'm trying to think, if some of our videos we've talked about viscosity of oils. I don't know that we have. I think we've maybe mentioned it in one of the XL1 engine treatment videos.
It would be interesting for him to like break it down to where people can understand what it means. Because
that's what I love.
It's rated in oil's rated in so many different ways.
Yeah.
That he can probably break it down like in layperson terms.
Yeah, and I probably need to. I can even ask VP, but at some point there was a really good article on VP's website, VP Fuels, explaining. Oh no, I'm thinking of octane. I'm not thinking of
octane. Yeah.
That was about fuel octane. It wasn't about oils, but it's very similar. And just the idea that the way we are testing these to rate them, and when I say rate, I'm not talking about rating them for performance. I'm talking about, is it a 1040? Is it a 1030? Is it a this octane or that octane? Right. Do you realize, some of the machinery that's used in this is like from 1885 or something crazy. Yeah. I'm like super, super old school. So yeah, it's really,
well, it's like your oils.
Fascinating.
It's like your oils.
Yeah.
So you look at like the 3060 or the 8090 or the whatever.
Now, what were you running for gear oil before we got the Daytona 1 stuff? What kind of a weight of oil were you running in as far as gear oil?
Over the years, we always ran like the 8590.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we're running 3060,
Yeah,
of course.
we're running 3060.
And we have a 7590 just because some people are old school.
Some people just like can't get past the fact you have to have a 90 weight gear oil. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and words matter. Words sell. So that's been kind of our theme this week. We were talking about yesterday in the car. We went and got pizza. And
talking about words.
That words matter, and just how how you describe or label something can have a whole different connotation.
Yep.
Depending on the context.
Yep.
So it's very interesting.
Yep.
Well, I think we're Are
we done?
I think we're about wrapping up because
Yeah.
we've got some chili mac to make.
or not. We might save it for tomorrow. We don't know yet.
No, we're gonna make that video. I already have cameras. I got stuff set up.
This is gonna be like.
Yes, we're gonna make our survival food chili mac.
Black chili mac.
Yeah, and when.
What? That's like a black packaged chili mac.
You are just a terrible person.
I'm not.
So,
where did you get that from? I'm like, it's chili mac. See?
Yeah.
Chili mac.
Chili mac from My Patriot Supply. So we're gonna try that out because it's just boiling water and
like making it.
Wow, boiling water. I'm not asking you to make it. I'll handle it.
I don't know. I have no clue how to boil water, so.
I am fully aware of that. So that's why it's going to be just like Corona.
25-year shelf life.
I know. All of this stuff has a 25-year shelf life. So, it's like I feel like the clock is ticking down.
So like tomorrow we're going to end up dying from 25-year shelf life.
We are not.
Cheese.
No, it's saying that it's meant that this is like freeze-dried something.
Mm-hmm.
And so that it can maintain its freshness for 25 years. Oh, okay, gotcha. There is one more question, then we'll wrap up.
Cool.
So Sean asks, what do you recommend in a crate engine versus an open engine?
Wait, do what now?
I'm assuming we're talking about oils, because that's what we were talking about before. But he says, what do you recommend in a crate engine versus an open engine?
Crate engines, because we're very limited to what we can use for engine bearings, obviously we have to use stock bearings from, GM, essentially. Or we can use an aftermarket bearing if we're freshening an engine up, but it cannot be an oversized or undersized. It's got to be just stock bearing. We're using like that 1030 in those, whereas like most open engines we're using probably like a 2050.
Mm-hmm. And like your favorite oils would be the Klotz 1040 that I sell on CrateInsider.
That's number one to me. Yeah, absolutely.
We've got the Schaefer's 1030.
Yep, that's number two.
We've just added the Z-Max 1030.
Every engine that leaves my shop goes out with
the
Schaefer's 1030. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't put the Klotz oil in a brand new engine, otherwise your rings will never seat.
Correct.
So we've got to have that. And now, of course, we've got the new Z-Max 1030.
Yep.
And we have the Z-Max break-in oil.
Yeah, their break-in oil is actually pretty badass. So
because you've been pretty anti-break-in oil for quite a while.
I have.
You thought break-in oil was stupid until you used the Z-Max break-in oil.
Ed sent me some to try, so I'm like, of course, my kid's crash test dummy. So we put it in his engine and tried it, and it worked out all right.
Yeah.
So.
You've been very pleased with it. So then we brought it in to Crate Insider. So we've got what is that, a 15 something? It's 15.
1550.
Okay.
Which is too thick to, we're not gonna race that.
No.
But we're gonna break the engine on it. That's just perfectly fine.
Been really happy with that.
Yep.
And that engine was a brand new engine, wasn't it? Or no, that was a rebuild. That was the Franken engine.
This is the one that
this is the Franken engine.
This is Franken motor.
Yeah.
So the engine in my son's car is one that Todd Burns, most people might know him as Hudson O'Neill's former car owner. He gave me. We've built Todd's stuff for years, and he ended up giving me this engine for Alex to race. And at the time, it was blown up.
Yeah.
So we salvaged everything and put it back together, and that's Alex's engine he raced last year. And then Alex blew it up again, testing like at the start of the season. So actually broke a rod halfway up the beam, which is like really unusual. And so broke a rod. And so we rebuilt it again and saved it again, and now we call it Franken engine.
Yeah.
Because it's got one each of everything in it. And that's what he's racing.
And here's one more philosophical question. If the whole world goes to shit, do you really want to be around another 25 years eating chili mac out of a black bag? Great question. The answer to that is, really, it just means that this has a 25-year shelf life, and so it would be there in the case of an emergency for the next, that I don't have to worry about eating it.
I don't want to eat chili mac because they'll shit my brains out, so I'm going to just eat mac and cheese.
Well, we got some other ones too. I'm looking forward to the creamy stroganoff.
Oh yeah.
I do like beef
Freaking
stroganoff.
Russian?
No, I'm German. You got creamy chicken flavored fries. No, but the thing is, like, where we live in the country, we have all kinds of things that knock out our power.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at any given time. So between the ice storms and the blizzards and the floods, I mean, it's like we live in like doomsdays.
Yeah.
I've really never lived in such a natural disaster area. And we're close to the Appalachian Mountains. I haven't seen any earthquakes actually here, but it could happen because there's plenty of fault lines. And there's so many disastrous things. I don't know that I want to live 25 years eating this stuff, but if I just don't have to go to the grocery store for like 3 days during the next snowpocalypse, then that's all I'm
We
trying
did
to
have
get through.
snowpocalypse here.
We
like
had,
like when we came back from PRI, was 2 years ago?
Yes, and it collapsed my gazebo.
God. Yeah.
And there was one time where I could it was so icy. We get those bad ice storms. Yeah. Everything's closed, and then I can't get up my driveway.
So we're in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah.
And like the sky is clear.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we can't fly you home to Charlotte because there's a foot of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
And we're like, son of a bitch. We
got
delayed. Spend the night again.
Mm-hmm. We've been delayed for an extra day so many times when we go to PRI.
Like two or three times probably.
Yeah, not at least twice now.
Yep.
Out of like 6 times.
Yep.
So our odds aren't very good anymore.
No, it's like 20% of the time we're like delayed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either snow in Chicago or snow in North Carolina.
But at least there's good food there.
There is good food there.
So we were good.
Yeah, and we've never been stranded in that way. It's never stranded because it's so bad there because they're used to it. So.
Exactly.
All right. And he says that you do realize they use South African llama meat in them black bags. I don't think so.
Huh.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to tell you later how llama tastes. And I'm pretty sure it might be good.
Oh, and Sean's asking if we have Ford crate engines. No, we don't, because Ford really didn't. They thought I was doing was basically stupid. So
exactly.
So that would be why. They blew me off years ago, so I just doubled down on GM stuff.
Ford can pretty much blow a fatty on that whole deal.
Yeah, there's that.
Yep.
All right, so should we wrap this up and make some
I
chili
guess,
mac?
yeah.
All right, well, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. For anybody who wants, talking to my live folks, you can re-watch or listen to this over on YouTube tomorrow or on the RacingInsidersPodcast.com. We do the audio version, so if you didn't catch the whole show, if you are listening on the podcast later on, you, of course, can join us live on the Crate Insider Facebook page. But thank you all for being here, and I look forward to, I'll be back Tuesday.
It was like a hell of an outro.
I know. I'm going with
You're
it.
like all...
Rah, 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 rah. I know. For Crate Insider, I will be back on Tuesday for Top 5 Tuesday. And...
What are you top fiving?
I don't know. Well, the top 5 products of the week. I don't know.
Which will be what?
I don't know what they are. I you know when I know they are?
When?
Tuesday morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up to the minute. I'm not planning this stuff weeks in advance.
I so don't believe you.
You have to sit in my office. It is on my calendar. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for being here.
Later.